Hello. What a great day we had Sunday. Bishop Sam confirmed 8, received 4, preached, celebrated, led adult ed, and met with the vestry. We offer our warmest congratulations and welcome to those confirmed and received, and we look forward to serving with you. I hope you're taking advantage of the Lenten study and worship opportunities available at Trinity this Lent. Sunday's gospel was, as always on Lent 1, the story of Jesus being tempted in the wilderness. It really doesn't have to be bread, power, or safety. The temptations, The devil tries to seduce Jesus with the promise of bread, when he's hungry, the glory and power of all the world's leaders, and the promise of rescue paired with the suggestion that God is not sufficient to keep Jesus safe. And all Jesus has to do in return is to worship Satan. So sure, here it's bread, power, and safety, but it could be something else, which is really important in hearing this story, I think, because the point isn't the specific temptations, but rather the underlying nature of temptation itself. Too often, Christians have focused on all the things we shouldn't do instead of pointing us to the gift and grace of our identity as children of God. But the devil knows better. Notice how each of the temptations seeks to tempt us away from something, namely our relationship with God and the identity we receive in and through that relationship. He attempts to erode and undercut Jesus' confidence in this relationship with God and therefore undermine Jesus' identity. And Jesus, of course, picks up on this, which is why when the devil offers him bread, he responds with an affirmation of trust in God. The next temptation is more transparent, offering Jesus the power of the world's leaders in return for Jesus' allegiance and worship. But again, Jesus knows that his allegiance can only be given to the one from whom he's received his identity. Finally, the devil proposes that God is not trustworthy and goads Jesus into testing that relationship. But Jesus refuses. In each case, the devil seeks to undermine Jesus' confidence in both God and himself. That is, he seeks to erode Jesus' confidence that he himself is enough, that he's secure, that he's worthy of God's love. And in the face of these temptations, Jesus quotes the sacred story of Israel in order to assert that he is a part of that story and therefore reaffirm his identity as a child of God. Rooted in the scriptures, that is, Jesus is reminded not only that he has enough and is enough, but that he is of infinite worth in the eyes of God. So bread, power, and safety. But it just as well might have been youth, beauty, and wealth, or confidence, fame, and security. On one level, we experience specific temptations very concretely, but on another level, they're all the same, as they seek to shift our allegiance, trust, and confidence away from God and toward some substitute that promises a more secure identity. Think about all the advertising on all forms of media to which most of us are subjected all the time. 9 times out of 10, the goal of advertising is to create in us a sense of lack and inadequacy, and then to follow that by the implicit promise that purchasing the advertised product will relieve our insecurity. We're bombarded by tempting messages that seek to draw our allegiance from the God who created and redeemed us towards some meager substitute. We're tempted to trade love for short-term profits, to make compromises that weaken our resolve to stand firm in God's blessed assurance. And in response, our challenge is to remember that God loves us more than anything, loves us, and that's all of us, enough to send God's only Son into the world to take on our lot in life, to suffer the same temptations and wants, to be rejected as we often feel rejected, and to die as we will die, all so that we may know God is with us and for us forever. More than that, God raised Jesus from the dead in order to demonstrate that God's love is more powerful than all the hate in the world, and that the life God offers us is more powerful even than death. And this love and life are given to each one of us in baptism. And the beginning of Lent is a perfect time to remember our baptism. It's a perfect time to remember that I am God's beloved child. It's just the time to remember that the identity given to Jesus in baptism, you are my beloved Son with whom I'm well pleased, is the same identity given to each one of us. Now maybe all of this is why we gather each and every week, tempted in manifold ways to lose our faith in God and confidence in ourselves. We come to church to be reminded of and given again our identity as beloved children of God in the face of so many assaults on our identity. In other words, we come to church to have that identity renewed and restored so that we might live in the confidence of God's abundant life and share God's unending love with those around us. God loves us and will keep loving us no matter what. And for this reason, we're enough. God loves us and we are enough. I know that I need to hear this again and again because in the face of all the messages to the contrary, that promise can seem so hard to believe. Remember that you are a beloved child of God and are holy and precious in God's sight. See you soon.